If you're like, it takes forever to load the next frame, things like that. It's very difficult to edit without transcoding to a new format. Well, if you'd like your footage and editing experience to go from this nonsense to this almost as smooth as butter for how you're going to get out of X264, stay tuned, because I think I've finally cracked the code for getting much more smoother playback and timeline scrubbing out of OBS in-sync encoding. So, let's get started. Useful tech education and gaming nostalgia that won't put you to sleep. Get subscribed and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next guide. This video does assume that you have a general knowledge of OBS Studio, how to set it up, and you're already using, presumably, NVIDIA's in-sync encoding for your recordings in the first place. And if you don't, check out my masterclass linked in the video description down below. I'll walk you through everything you need to know about OBS Studio, except for this, and that will get you started. But if you really want to know how to optimize output mode, make sure you're set up to use the NVIDIA encoder. Again, this only specifically applies to the NVIDIA encoder for now. I'm getting an AMD GPU to test that stuff later, but as far as I know, it's not even a problem. So these are the settings that I recommended in my last video, and those are fine, but some of them are left on default. There's actually a few settings that help improve that decode performance. Set up NVIDIA in-sync, and it's decoding. You can choose any rate control method that you wish. So I've tested this on VBR, CBR, and CQP in full lossless mode at various bit rates, all the way from single-digit megabits per second up to 150 megabits per second. It still works. So, for example, for my lossless, the Blu-ray, super important, where it says, encode time, that is perfectly fine. You see no quality loss, and that is super important. You can enable or disable two-pass encoding. That doesn't affect the decode speed, depending on your performance. Sometimes I disable it if I'm choking on some incredible 4K 60 footage, but otherwise it's fine. And pretty much all the other settings are just left alone. See how I have it set up here on my screen. And that's it. Your footage will go from this to this. Now, I personally have a high powerful enough computer that even the chuggy files, I still get reasonable performance out of them, even though it's not amazing. But I even had my buddy over on a Ryzen 1800X confirm that his older OBS files that are just like impossible to in-sync encodings from
What's up, guys? So get your low-end performance mode. First, on streaming, use the NVENC H.264 encoder if you want end buffering, as you need a smaller bandwidth. Use CBR as your rate control. I like to use 3500 as my bitrate, but this depends on your upload speed. I use the NVENC encoder as I use an NVIDIA GPU bitrate. On the video tab, and recording I leave open. Right click it and set the priority to high. This will make sure that the operating system will allocate more resources to the program. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and see you in the next one.